trapped on an island, spooky phenomenon, and monsters from another dimension. I am your mate Nate.
I am Ghostfish.
I'm Global.
And I'm Mr. Roth.
Today we are looking at the early access of Desolate. Desolate isn't your standard survival game. It's full of questions and phenomenon that will puzzle you and scare you. I found it to be a combination of Bioshock and Dishonored that fell into the world of Stranger Things in the way that the game played and felt at times.
It leads on its own with a strong story, guiding the player with a coordinate-based mapping system, leading them across the map with vague reasons and ominous world events to keep the player questioning the reasons for their presence on the island of Branchy.
I've heard from my colleagues that the first time people come to the island, they experience a kind of acclimation. In rare cases, it causes hallucinations and gaps in the memory. It's obviously been a bit rougher on you than on most. You need to rest. Your next mission will take you someplace where you can do just that.
The story is a little heavy-handed with the exposition at the start, but after the prologue, the game resorts to a lot of indirect storytelling which works well. The atmosphere in the game is solid and feels scary. The chance of ongoing injury and the horror elements give you a desperate feel to the survival, and the visceral combat adds a personal feel. In the time spent playing the game, there were both jump-scare style moments and genuinely unsettling background moments that enhance the feel of the game really well.
Music played a big part in setting the scene, as every encounter with a foe was often started with an orchestrated string of intense chords.
Fire, he has a torch. Oh! That was music.
Guys, charging.
Oh! He's coming for me! Oh,
What?
A far cry from the calm and often eerie sounds of the still wildlife around you, with the nights feeling like they last longer than the days as time goes by.
This also gives the game a very unique feel and atmosphere, as well as filled out the world very nicely. There are also various events that occurred, kind of like weather, some of them being a thick fog that blanketed the island or increased paranormal activity. This made the world feel less static and more real.
And the Unreal Engine has been a solid building block for the game.
Crafting in the game is simple. With so much going on within the game, it was a pleasant relief to know that the crafting bandages, all you needed were herbs and cloth.
With extended options when you're near a campfire or workbench.
And you could expand this by finding blueprints scattered across the world.
A system that you learn more crafting options as you go. In addition to that, you can also develop and specialize your character with 3 different skill trees. And you can try to make a unique look at the start of the game with the limited customization options. It's still in early access, so it's quite understandable, but hopefully it's flushed out later on down the track. As for the issues, there were very few. We had a couple of broken AI that appeared to be brain dead, and a couple of people had frame rate issues here and there, but for a game as early build as it is, I was very surprised at how well it played, and especially how much content there was. Because, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty skeptical going into this one.
Combat was almost seamless for a game in early development, with impact feeling heavy and the weight feeling satisfying. However, sometimes the attack would seamlessly miss with no reason. Be it a reason of latency or player-side frame dropping, it was still an enjoyable experience.
But alpha is alpha, and for the product, it was smooth and well presented.
Desolate had me carefully checking behind corners, marveling at the strange phenomenon, and had me hooked with the mystery of this island. I'm definitely keeping this one.
Desolate is a dark and gritty survival game that leaves you from the prologue to the moment you end the session wondering what awaits you around the next corner or tree. The early alpha game, by Niagara, is far from done, but so far it's a well-developed game that in my eyes has a nice callback to games such as Fallout 3, Far Cry, and Dishonored. I definitely will be keeping this game as it was a fun and enjoyable game. It's a game to play with friends and is something to tackle on your own, but for only those with a strong fortitude to withstand a well-developed horror game with a seemingly well-developed story.
Desolate is an entertaining, story-driven survival horror game. The game had seamless matchmaking, it just worked and worked correctly, and there was also no major connectivity issues. I'm keeping the game.
I'll be keeping this game. It runs well as a multiplayer experience, provided development doesn't halt and continues in the same direction. It'll be a fantastic game on full release.
That's 4 people keeping it and no one returning it, and it's available on Steam if you want to check out this paranormal survival game. I would recommend it, and good luck.